I find it insulting. I think I've already given my vote on this matter, saying that I would support it. So I'm not sure what else you're wanting, Commissioner Menser. I've already stated my vote. I was the first one who said yes. So.
And you stated your vote. You stated your vote earlier about phase one and going forward with the MOU, and then that was not your final vote. Yes, and that was
before previous information about an appeal process came up, which I laid out very clearly. It would just, the timeline just didn't make sense afterwards. So, you know, I've been very clear on it the whole time. I've had multiple conversations, both with the public, with Providence, with the City of Olympia on this whole issue. And, you know, I am very frustrated. I've laid out my vote, and, you know, how you vote, it's your choice.
Okay.
So that's all I'm going to say.
A whole slew of citizens came in last week or 2 weeks ago believing you changed your vote because they pressured you. So whether that was true or not true, that's what they believed, and that's what they said in a public comment, swiveling to me. And
no, sir.
I felt very upset.
They thanked me because I showed up to a meeting. I made myself available and showed up to a meeting and went and talked to them. That's why they thanked me. They thanked me because I showed up as an elected official to hear their complaints. Not because I changed my mind, but because I showed up.
1 hour later!
You said you wanted my assurance about it. So here I am, looking you in the eye, telling you have my assurance on it. But I do want to move on it today. I don't want to keep putting staff in this situation where they don't know where to go. So I'm for it, 100%.
Okay, I'll change my vote.
Hey guys, check this out.
What is it?
Is someone in?
RV parking MOU, next steps, discussion / direction.
Yeah, Commissioners, I just want to, I don't want to revisit some of the conversations that you had related to this MOU, related to the RV parking. I'd just like to have a couple of directions on that. My presumption and assumption is the phase one of this particular MOU, which was used in the Carpenter site as a temporary house for 15 to 20 RVs. That is off the table. I just want to confirm that with the board. If I get confirmation, I will follow up in rescinding the permit application that we have pending. So with that, please give me your concurrence on that phase one of this MOU.
Oh, I want to give you my concurrence that Carpenter Road is out.
Yep.
So however you're going to do it.
Yeah, just to touch on that, there was an article on the Olympian and, you know, it was disappointing the way it was framed, but yes, has my concurrency.
Commissioner Menser, this is the question for phase one of the MOU.
Yeah, I was outvoted on this one, so.
Okay, so moving
That remains
forward,
okay.
you will see that I will be following up and rescinding the permit application related to this item. So the next question that I have for you is related to phase two of this MOU. And the phase two is related to a partnership with the City of Olympia to purchase the Franz Anderson Road property. And this has a more long-term strategy with the City of Olympia. The Franz Road and roadside property is located within the city boundaries of Olympia. And there's an opportunity to partner the purchasing with the city as well as part of the Regional Housing Council to provide a long-term relief for the RVs and Ensign Road because the activities the City of Olympia is going to be exercising on December 15 is going to take care of just a portion of Ensign Road. This particular proposal will address all of them, all the RVs located in Ensign Road. I'd just like to hear the perspective from the board related to whether you'd like to support this particular purchase. Also, I just want to be very clear, the feedback that you receive on the Carpenter Road, you may receive the same feedback from the nearby property owners. So since I'm asking for direction whether we want to partner with the City of Olympia to purchase this property, as you may recall, that the board put a draft to set aside ARPA funds to purchase a property or a motel. It will come out of that funding. But if something comes down the road, I really need the support from the board if that is the direction that we need to move and partner with the City of Olympia to find more of a long-term relief to the RVs located in Inside Road. That is my request at this point, is the board is supporting the partnership with the City of Olympia to go ahead and purchase Anderson Road as well as the potential development of this property.
Commissioner Edwards' hand.
I guess my concern at this point is, are we getting the cart before the horse, so to speak? And the reason I say that, has Olympia done their due diligence with their community in holding whatever hearings they're going to have, and have made a positive decision that they are moving forward? I don't want to buy a piece of property and be involved in buying a piece of property and then find out, well, that isn't going to pan out. So that's my concern. And I know apparently other properties have been looked at around Olympia, and I think Tom can verify that with, numerous other properties were explored. I don't know what those properties are, but I know beings we're talking about a temporary location. Olympia bought a big bunch of property out off of Yelm Highway or something, and if it's gonna just be temporary, why not something like that, or more of an industrial area like around the old city hall? Because you're right, I don't know anything about the property on Franz Road, and I don't know if it's a residential area close by or if it's all industrial. But by committing to something that the City of Olympia doesn't even know if they're gonna move ahead on, is that being premature? That's all, I just asked that question to see if there is an answer, because I've been pushing that they ought to be located down at the old City Hall Public Works lot that seems like it's sitting there empty. I know maybe the fire department uses as much foul for training, but I think that's a more likely spot. It's kind of consolidating all the problems, if you will, in one location.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I wanted to have a conversation with you. Because if there is not support on this approach, you need to let me know now. Because with all due respect, I really don't want to go through on this partnership with the City of Olympia. When it's time to get a transaction on this property, the board has a different perspective. So I know that you have the latitude to exercise your vote as you see please, but really for me, it's important whether there's support on this approach or there isn't. Related to this, what I'm asking is the purchase of this property. Whether the City of Olympia has gone through the process of public hearing, they couldn't because they don't own the property.
No, but they could at least have
And if you made, if I didn't have the chance to read the MOU under phase 2, that outlines what the short-term and long-term use of this property, because eventually this property, what we envision as a regional housing council is to provide an asset to build affordable housing. That is really the long-term of this investment with the City of Olympia. So.
Yeah, well, I don't know the sequence of events that might lead up to it. I just hate to commit to something that the community hasn't bought off on yet, or Olympia hasn't come out and said, hey, we're doing this, we don't give a darn what you say, we're doing it. So I just don't know the answer to that, and I hate to put the cart before the horse. Do we know, has Olympia done anything yet to mitigate the process? I mean, I think they had what they figured was an easy out, to be honest with you. And I don't know that they continued on with the process. They were probably watching all the issues that we dealt with, I would guess, but I don't know that. I'm not thrilled with the way Olympia has handled this in the past. I am thrilled to hear that they're looking at doing some kind of a cleanup, you know, to get things a bit organized, because I think it's left to linger for way too long. And so I'm happy with that, but they're talking about stuff and doing stuff seems to be two different things for the city of Olympia. And that always bothers me. And so if we go out there like we're leading the charge and trying to solve the problem for Olympia that they actually developed, and all the other municipalities on the West Coast did the same thing, really. They encourage people to come there. There's no commitment on longevity or how long they've been a resident here. I'm all for helping out our local folks. I just do not want to encourage all these out-of-staters to come here because we're too nice. That's what I'm up against. So am I ready to move forward on a purchase? No, not until I hear from Olympia that, hey, here's the plan, we got it all set. You guys want to commit X dollars to helping us with this program? Okay, that's a whole different ballgame at that point.
With all due respect, the plan is outlined on the MOU.
The plan,
Well,
as a partner with Olympia, I'm skeptical. I guess I'm trying to make it polite, but I am skeptical. That's
Okay,
where
I appreciate that. So I continue to ask for direction on this phase two.
Okay.
That's my question to you. Would you like to support this or not? Because if it's not, we just call it good and.
When you say or not, are you saying, would we like to support this if everything A, B, C, D, E, and F all fall in line?
No, because it's a property that's up for sale. So, and there is no time, with all due respect, for us to go through the process and determining what the City of Olympia is going to do or not, because the property is going to be sold to another buyer.
I guess why would we want to jump into this thing with both feet when Olympia hasn't really done their due diligence on the whole process? That's my concern.
The county is not, the proposal is not to purchase entirely on the counties, it's a partnership.
I know, it's a partnership.
It's a 50-50 financial proposal.
We're trying to help.
So,
Okay.
yes,
Commissioner Mejia?
for me, yes, I support the Franz Anderson Road site as the permanent location. So,
Commissioner Menser?
I'm just nervous, I guess, kind of some of the things Commissioner Edwards said at the beginning of his comments. You know, I know we hadn't signed an agreement with the City of Olympia, but I thought we had committed to moving forward on phase one. And then we heard heat from the community, and then we didn't. And I don't want to be in that situation again. And I agree with the county manager that there's going to be heat from the community. We heard from Mayor Selby and Anna Schlecht, who'd worked on these issues for 38 years for Olympia. There's never been a situation ever regarding the siting of homeless that hasn't drawn opposition from the immediate surrounding neighbors. I don't care what site you chose. So I'm just nervous that we're going to get halfway through this. We're going to get angry people just like we did at Carpenter. And I thought that Carpenter was not going to be that way because we had already vetted that site twice before. But even so, we had a certain amount of opposition, and the board changed its mind. And I don't want to be in that situation again. So I guess if I feel confident that I understand what the plan is, it's laid out. If it's a condition that we have some kind of, I mean, I know it's in the City of Olympia, so maybe the angry people will go to the City of Olympia meetings, not the county meetings. I don't know. And I don't really care about that, frankly, because I'm a county commissioner and I represent all of the people of this county. So I guess I just need a confidence level that this board is, or a majority of this board is committed to phase two before I'm willing to sign my name on a partnership with Olympia, irrespective of what may come out of the woodwork. And I guarantee you, there will be, so I've looked at, so Commissioner Edwards said he wasn't familiar. I've driven around the site. I've done Google Earth looking at it because I was worried about this very thing. It's not quite, it's, we've tried to do something near residential area. Big opposition. Carpenter Road is a commercial corridor. We had that level of opposition. This is got a couple of offices and a couple of scattered single resident, like it's larger parcels around the parcel. So there's not as many people, but there are residences adjacent, as well as an office, at least one that I was able to see. So it may not be as many people, but it could be just as angry of people who are adjacent. And so I guess I'm going back to what Commissioner Edwards said about, do we need to have some kind of public process just so that we know what, if that's going to turn the tide on something like this, and we need to know that, then I guess let's find that out. But I don't know exactly the cart before the horse and the purchasing the property and what the timing is there. And I don't know the answer to this. I just don't want to be in a position like I was for phase one. So I would take any suggestions from the county manager or Tom or Commissioner Mejia or Commissioner Edwards is how to get us there without those problems derailing us at the 11th hour.
I understand and I respect your position, Commissioner, but we're facing is the timing. We wish that probably this property can remain available until we go through a public process, as you stated. I don't think I can guarantee that from my point of view. I don't think I can guarantee to have a public process for you to be hearing public testimony related to this particular location, because it will be a moot point at that time. I know that right now there is a potential buyer as well. And the City of Olympia, as far as I understand yesterday, sent a letter to the property owner stating there still be an interest for this property. So I understand what you're saying, I get it, but I don't think I can deliver a public process before you feel comfortable in supporting this purchase.
I have a concern I can just mention.
Yep.
I'm very concerned with the whole process that's taken place, that there is no accountability built into it. I want mandatory treatment, to be honest with you, both mental health treatment and addiction treatment. And I want a residency requirement. And the reason I want that is because I think if we hold people accountable for their actions, we're not going to have the numbers that we have today. Today, these folks, I know we hear these numbers that, 90% of them are right here local. Well, that's because they said they were right here local. There is absolutely no verification process until we have a very serious police or medical interaction. Then we find out these folks are really from Kansas City. And I just use that as an example. And we're talking about moving our administrative activities down at 3000 Pacific Avenue. I don't know if you've been down there lately, but it's already looking like a jungle down there with these RVs and campers and moving in, and that one little business down there, now they've got cyclone fence up all the way around their place because they can't keep these people out. And so we've got an ongoing problem that is never going to get fixed until we have a change in philosophy in how we do business. And if we don't hold people accountable and force them into some type of treatment, and by doing that, those that don't want to take the treatment are going to get out of town, I guess. They're going to head elsewhere. And I want to help those that we can help. And until we make that type of a commitment, that's why I'm so enthused about Olympia finally taking some type of action. I'm not even sure it's the right action, because it is going to disperse the crowd, if you will, and not necessarily solve the problem without a change in philosophy. And so if I had an agreement from Olympia, okay, we're gonna change, we're gonna fingerprint everybody and find out their local people from here, and we're gonna take care of our local people from here, get them into treatment, get them on medication, try and get them a job, get them back on their feet, to do something constructive. The way we're doing it now does not solve the problem. We just allow deviant behavior in the name of individual rights. And I think it's a big mistake for our community to continue down this path, and now we want to throw more money on it. Well, I don't think throwing money at it is the problem. We got to hold people accountable, then let's help who's left. And I just, buying the property, it isn't gonna solve the problem, it's just gonna create more open space elsewhere where these people move from, and more people are coming from Kansas City. That's just the reality of what we're up against. And we're gonna continue to be up against that until we hold people accountable. And that's why I'm so hesitant to move forward on spending more money. So, anyway. But it sounds like we got 1.5 votes so far to
So I'm
move
still,
forward.
I'm still looking for direction.
I know.
And I hate to put this on the board, but it comes of the essence. All that perspective, I don't think I can deliver. First of all, I don't think I can deliver what Commissioner Edwards outlined. There's no way that I can deliver that.
Well, probably not.
And related to Commissioner Menser, I don't think I can deliver a public process before you feel comfortable on this. So really is a point of decision for you, whether you like to support a partnership with the City of Olympia to purchase Franz Road, Anderson Road.
I tell you what, one more quick thing. Is there any reason, has it ever been explained why the old City Hall location right up there next to the freeway, right across from Wheeler Road, why that wouldn't be an ideal situation that doesn't affect anybody, it's all fenced in, already owned by the city, right down there where there's services and bus services and all that. I mean, I don't understand why that location, it was good enough for us to contemplate putting a county courthouse down there and let something develop around that property. What's wrong if it's just temporary? Let's put some RVs in that location. There's probably room for 40 of them in there. And I've never heard anybody from Olympia say, oh no, that won't work because of X. No, it won't work because they don't want to solve the problem right now. That is my concern. So I'll let it go with that.
If I could just jump in and say, I have asked the city manager, Jay Burney, about that property, and he said it is being utilized and is not available. So we have asked the City of Olympia about that, the old City Hall, and he said it's being utilized, so.
I know, Tom, and I'm not giving you a hard time. I know you're trying, your heart's in the right spot, but I could say any property, oh, that won't work there, or it's not available. We're using it for X, Y, or Z. I don't know, they might be storing floats for the parade. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
It's
But I
their
don't
municipal
think the
court.
commitment is-
They're using the site is used by the municipal court.
Oh, I'm talking about in behind there, in that big public works area. It's back
Behind
in,
it, they have a tiny village.
not right in that one spot that I'm talking about. There's room. But
Anyways, so
anyway, whole nother issue.
the question remains, commissioners.
Okay, well, let me just try to boil it down. If Commissioner Mejia is looking me in the eye and saying that I'm supporting this, regardless of what I may hear from the surrounding neighbors, I will follow through with this agreement without knowing what she may hear, then I can support it. But I need to know that that's firm, that we're, as a board, a majority of the board is firm on this. Because I don't know what we're going to hear from the surrounding neighbors. But, I guess from my own personal perspective, it's in the City of Olympia. A lot of the objection we heard at some of the objection we heard at Carpenter was, don't move this out of the county, into other areas. City of Olympia should take responsibility. Well, they are. So they're committing to this site within their own jurisdiction. And that means something to me. I think that kind of mitigates a lot of the criticism we heard. So I'm willing to do it, but I do need to know that the board's firm on it.
Well, I'm firm where I'm at because.
Yeah, I know you're
don't
firm where
see
you're
it.
at.
I don't see a policy
Mejia.
change being willing to be put
I
forward.
think the question was for Commissioner Mejia.
Oh, it was.
I think that all of us understood your position, Commissioner.
Okay.
I find it insulting. I think I've already given my vote on this matter, saying that I would support it. So I'm not sure what else you're wanting, Commissioner Menser. I've already stated my vote. I was the first one who said yes. So.
And you stated your vote. You stated your vote earlier about phase one and going forward with the MOU, and then that was not your final
Yes, and that was
vote.
before previous information about an appeal process came up, which I laid out very clearly. It would just, the timeline just didn't make sense afterwards. So, I've been very clear on it the whole time. I've had multiple conversations, both with the public, with Providence, with the City of Olympia on this whole issue. I am very frustrated. I've laid out my vote, and how you vote, it's your choice.
Okay.
So that's
Well,
all I'm gonna say.
A whole slew of citizens came in last week or 2 weeks ago, believing you changed your vote because they pressured you. So whether that was true or not true, that's what they believed, and that's what they said in a public comment, swiveling to me. And
No, sir.
I felt very upset.
They thanked me because I showed up to a meeting. I made myself available and showed up to a meeting and went and talked to them. That's why they thanked me. They thanked me because I showed up as an elected official to hear their complaints. Not because I changed my mind, but because I showed up.
Okay, Commissioners, thank you for the passionate feedback.
I just want to make one comment. It does take courage to show up when you know you're facing an adversarial situation. I just like about that.
So, Commissioner Menser?
I'm not ready to move forward. I need some time to think about this. So
Okay.
I'm not ready to give that forward movement today.
So I will bring this item next week if it's still is properly available. Thank you.
Next item is Capitol Lake Deschutes Estuary.
1 hour later.
Commissioner Mejia has an additional item, I think, before we close our meetings.
Yes, I do. I wanted to bring the RV parking MOU back up. And the reason I want to bring it back up is because I am scared that if we do not take any action, we're going to lose the opportunity of that property. You said you wanted my assurance about it. So here I am, looking you in the eye, telling you you have my assurance on it. But I do want to move on it today. I don't want to keep putting staff in this situation where they don't know where to go. So I'm for it 100%.
Okay, I'll change my vote and we can give you that direction.
Okay, so let me clarify. So with your concurrence, I will revise the MOU to just highlight phase 2 and I will sign that because that's the authorization you're giving me.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
That's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day.